Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive. You know how this works. We're diving headfirst into the sources you all sent in.
Unpacking all the wisdom, yeah. Whether it's powerful quotes or those insightful summaries of key ideas, really distilling things down for everyone.
Exactly. And today's theme, well, it's all about personal growth and success.
Those big questions, how to lead a more fulfilling life, reach your potential, all that,
And without feeling like you're drowning in an ocean of advice,
right?
because there's a lot out there.
Oh, tons. But that's where we come in, helping you sift through it all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's dive right in. There's this quote by Gottfried Keller that really stood out to me. He says, "We don't remain good if we don't always strive to become better." Kind of hits you right between the eyes, doesn't it? It's like
Yeah.
this reminder that personal growth isn't a one-time thing.
It's not like you check a box and you're done.
Right, exactly. It's
Yeah.
constant, ongoing.
Always striving, pushing forward.
Yeah. It's interesting, too, because it ties in with something Jim Quick talks about. He has this idea that life is BCD, birth, choices, death.
Yeah. Ah, I love that one. Very concise.
And when you think about it in the context of Keller's quote, it really highlights that it's the choices we make, the effort we put in, that define who we are.
In between those fixed points of birth and death, it's all about those choices. It's powerful stuff.
But also, it can feel a bit overwhelming, you know?
Yeah.
Like always having to strive, always having to push harder. And that's why I was kind of relieved when I came across this other idea in the materials. It was about setting the bar low sometimes.
Acknowledging those days when things just don't go your way.
Exactly. And that even in those unfavorable circumstances, even with those setbacks, you're still on the right track.
Makes it feel a bit more sustainable, doesn't it? Like you don't have to be perfect all the time.
Yeah, it takes off some of the pressure.
And it's funny because it reminded me of something Seth Godin said. He talks about mistakes, not as failures, but as choosing incorrect tactics in a game.
Well, that's interesting.
So it's not that you're a failure, you just picked the wrong move this time. It's part of the process, especially when you're pushing yourself to innovate and try new things.
I like that a lot. Because I think that fear of messing up, of making the wrong choice, can really hold people back.
Absolutely. It's paralyzing.
But if you see it as just a misstep in a game, it kind of takes the sting out of it.
It does. It builds resilience, you know?
Yeah.
You're not afraid to experiment, to try again, to iterate.
Speaking of mindset, there's this other quote that really resonated with me. It says, "My still mind reflects only peace and holiness."
That's a beautiful one.
Right. It really emphasizes the power of mental clarity. Like having that inner peace is essential for growth.
It's about finding that quiet space within yourself, even amidst the chaos of everyday life.
And it's interesting to consider that alongside this very practical piece of advice we found, the best bridge between despair and hope is a good night's sleep.
Yes. It's true, though.
It is. It highlights that connection between mental and physical well-being. You can't have one without the other. Have you ever noticed that after a good night's sleep, everything seems a little bit clearer?
Oh, absolutely. It's like you've hit the reset button.
And that reminds me of Gordon B. Hinckley. He had this fantastic metaphor. You can't build a great building on a weak foundation. It really underlines that for any kind of lasting success, for sustainable personal growth, you need strong fundamentals.
You can't skip the groundwork.
Exactly. And that's where Jim Quick's MOM framework comes into play. He talks about these three core mental elements you need for effective learning and improvement: motivation, observation, and methods.
MOM. I like it. Easy to remember.
Right. And the first one, motivation, is all about your inner drive, your why.
Why are you doing this? Why are you pushing yourself?
If you don't have a clear sense of that, Quick says you need to cultivate it. Figure out what truly drives you.
So, for example, if you're learning a new skill, is it for a career change? For personal fulfillment? Find that driving force.
The second element, observation, really emphasizes the importance of paying attention, of being present.
Because sometimes it's not that we have bad memories, it's that we weren't really paying attention in the first place.
So true. We're so easily distracted these days.
Think about it. How many times are you in a meeting, but also scrolling through your phone, not really absorbing anything?
Yeah, we've all been there.
The more present you are, the better you'll learn and remember. And finally, you have methods. These are the actual techniques and strategies you use for learning and improving.
The how-tos, right.
Exactly. But the important thing to remember is that motivation and observation come before methods. They lay the groundwork for everything else.
You can have all the best tools in the world, but if you're not motivated and not paying attention, they won't do you much good.
Right. It all starts with the mental foundation.
But of course, all this talk about mindset and mental models is just the first step. At some point, we have to take action, right? As they say, actions speak louder than words.
Oh, absolutely. And we found some great material on that, like this African proverb, a roaring lion kills no game.
So vivid, right? All the planning and dreaming in the world won't get you anywhere if you don't actually get out there and do the work.
And that ties in beautifully with this other idea we came across. Greatness is the combination of a lot of small things, done well each and every day.
I love that. It emphasizes consistency.
Small steps taken consistently add up to big results over time.
It's like learning a language. A little bit of practice every day is much more effective than trying to cram it all in at once.
Exactly. And it makes it feel less daunting, too.
This brings us back to Seth Godin and his emphasis on focusing on good decisions on the process rather than just the outcomes.
He cautions against those vanity metrics, those superficial markers of success that might not actually be meaningful in the long run.
And he also reiterates that point about mistakes being a part of innovation. Don't be afraid to experiment and learn from your missteps.
So what does that mean for you, the listener? Well, it's about taking control. By focusing on making good decisions each day, on the things you can control, you're setting yourself up for success. It's about the journey, not just the destination.
Right. So instead of stressing about getting that promotion, focus on improving your skills, taking on new challenges, being a valuable team member.
And his point about AI and knowledge work is particularly relevant today. It's not about being replaced by AI, it's about how we can collaborate with it, how we can use these new tools to be even more innovative and effective.
Which brings us to the theme of adaptation, looking forward. We're living in a world that's changing faster than ever before.
And in that context, this quote by Paul Bowies really struck a chord with me. Forgiveness does not change the past, but it does enlarge the future.
It's about letting go of those past mistakes, those regrets, those things that are holding you back.
You can't change what's already happened, but you can choose to learn from it and move forward.
And that frees up so much mental energy to focus on the present and the future.
Imagine all the things you could accomplish if you weren't carrying around that baggage.
And to tie it all back to the beginning, we have Ralph Waldo Emerson's wise words. Life is a journey, not a destination.
Beautiful, isn't it?
It reminds us that growth is an ongoing process.
Yeah.
It never really ends.
And it brings us full circle to Keller's quote about always striving to become better. It's all connected.
So if we look at all these insights together, what emerges is this really powerful holistic philosophy.
It's about embracing continuous growth, but doing so with self-compassion and a realistic understanding that you won't always get it right.
You'll make mistakes, you'll have setbacks, but it's about how you learn from those experiences and keep moving forward.
It's about cultivating a strong mental and emotional foundation through clarity, rest, and focus.
And then it's about translating your aspirations into action, taking consistent small steps toward your goals.
Making smart decisions, focusing on what you can control, and not being afraid to try new things, even if you stumble along the way.
It's a framework for both your inner world, your mindset, and your outer world, your actions.
And remember, all of the sources we explored today offer different perspectives on this same core idea. Keller and Emerson focus on that continuous journey. Keekwit gives us those mental tools. Godin encourages us to rethink mistakes and prioritize process. The African proverb and the quote about small actions highlight the importance of actually doing the work.
The quote about sleep reminds us to take care of our physical well-being. Hinckley emphasizes the importance of strong foundations, and Bowies reminds us about the power of forgiveness. They all add up to this rich understanding of personal growth.
It's a tapestry woven from many different threads, but with a clear, overarching message.
So as we wrap up today, here's a final thought for you. Which of these ideas resonated most with you? Is there one that really speaks to where you are in your life right now? Maybe you need to find more mental clarity in your day-to-day. Maybe it's about committing to one small action you can take consistently toward a goal. Or maybe it's about reframing mistakes as learning opportunities. Whatever it is, think about one small, actionable step you can take today to embody that principle.
And as you do that, remember that progress isn't about achieving some perfect end state. It's about the consistent commitment to moving forward, to learning and adapting along the way. That's where the real growth happens.
On that note, we'll leave you to dive a little deeper into these ideas on your own.
Until next time, keep striving, keep learning, and keep growing.